So this is another Japanese animation, this time by Makoto Shinkai, who is very well known and has made some really great stuff in the past. And I think I've seen all his full-length work and it's all been pretty good. However, I did realize a trend when I went through his IMDb page. I like his shorter stuff more, because I think 5 centimeters per second is a gorgeous piece of work, truly stunning. And I loved Garden of Words as well, but both of those are only around an hour in length. And when it comes to the longer movies that get closer to 2 hours, I haven't liked them nearly as much. They just haven't resonated with me on the same level. Now that could just be a coincidence, or he could just be better at writing shorter stuff. That when he's able to keep it concise, basically focusing on what matters, distilling the story down to its purest essence, that's when he really shines. That at least was my working theory going into this, and yeah, it seems to check out. Because while I definitely didn't think this was bad, in fact I thought it was kinda cute. And I thought the artwork and the animation was absolutely gorgeous. As in plain top notch, some of the best looking anime I've ever seen. Especially when it comes to the background artwork, it's just so rich and detailed that I sometimes got lost just admiring it. But the movie as a whole just didn't resonate with me on any sort of deeper level. I mean, it's not a bad story, I liked it well enough, but there's just something missing. That part that his best work has that just punches you right in the heart. That gets to you emotionally, that speaks to you and makes you really care. That just wasn't there, at least not for me, and as a result this just ended up being another okay movie. But what's the story even about? Well, it's about this teenage boy who arrives in Tokyo. He's all alone and struggling, but he's determined to make it on his own. He's not afraid of some hard work and he wants to find a job and to fend for himself. And through a series of events he eventually runs into a girl who has some special abilities, let's just say. Abilities that might perhaps come in handy, because the region is plagued by non-stop, unprecedented rains that summer. And the movie sort of builds this mythology around this girl and her abilities. And around the weather too, and it gets into some supernatural stuff like these types of movies tend to do. Meanwhile, the story also gets into this boy's private life and some of the issues he has to deal with, while also diving into the stories of a few other characters as well. So there's actually quite a few things going on in this movie, and it doesn't necessarily lack content. And I wouldn't say I was ever bored with it either. It worked and was more or less fine. But yeah, at the end of the day it just didn't really compel me on any deeper level. Which is a shame, but not exactly unusual, and I don't even expect most movies to do that at this point. However, it is usually the one thing that separates decent movies from the really good ones. And this one just ended up being decent in my opinion. However, would I recommend it? If you're into anime, I would say give it a try. You might like it more than I did. But if you're not particularly into anime, I don't think this is the one that's gonna win you over. So you might wanna skip it, or not. After all, I'm not your dad. But hey, what are your thoughts on this? Have you seen it? Did you like it? Let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, maybe give it a thumbs up or sub to the channel, because that would be fantastic. And if you'd like, you can also support me on Patreon or PayPal through the links in the description. And as always, I appreciate you and thanks for watching.